love has no object. I remember back when we had remember women's liberation and I am not a sexual object? I think that has broader implications when we get into spirituality, because we have to begin to open our hearts up and our minds up to the idea that we are an idea in the mind of God. That's what we were created as. We were created as an idea. Christ is a spiritual idea. Christ is not a man or a woman. Christ is not masculine or feminine. Christ is a pure spiritual idea created in the likeness and image of God. And when we think of ourselves as a body among bodies, then that's where the objection, you could say, we objectify that idea and we shrink it down into something that's very concrete and specific and limited. Certainly the body is a very limited idea. A Course in Miracles even takes it so far to say it's like a concrete form of sin or a concrete form of error. That's what the body is. So that kind of starts to send us in a new direction. Instead of trying to beautify the body or make it an immortal body or look at something that it can become, we really need to start to just pull our mind away from the idea of being identified with the body and open up to being a spiritual idea. That's where the joy, the happiness, the expansiveness comes in. And then we could say, we could apply that with everything in this world, instead of taking the love in our heart and trying to shrink it down and objectify it into something specific. I love my Volvo. I love the San Francisco Giants, or the Oakland Athletics, or I love my child, I love my parents, I love my partner. If whatever we put after that I love is really just more of this objectification, and that's what specialness is. That's what Jesus spends 9 chapters from 15 to 24 on, talking about trying to take love, something so undefinable and vast, which is really a good synonym for God, love, and then shrink it down and objectify it. And then why would it even be surprising that we would get mixed results from attempting to objectify something that was so vast and abstract? And that plays into the second idea I want to share, that people are not people, they're thoughts. Because when I have had times in my life where I'm really working with grievances around certain people, it was as if the Spirit was like saying, would you give them back to me? Hand them over. You're putting all this thought energy into these people and their actions and their behaviors and what they did that they shouldn't have done, what they didn't do that they should have done. A lot of mind energy is getting sucked into these thoughts, and I was quite happy when I heard that people are not people. It was the first step in really freeing my mind from these grievances, because then I could start to say, well, if I'm holding on to thoughts about a person and I'm preoccupied with these thoughts, it's just really being preoccupied with something from the past. And the past is not going to get me into the kingdom of heaven if I keep holding on and letting these past thoughts just ruminate and really take a look at, first of all, if there's something I really am upset with them, then bring it back into mind and start to take a look at what is the judgment. And Jesus kept telling me, pluck the offense from your own mind. If you are offended in anyone, pluck the offense from your own mind. Weed the garden. Get the weeds out and have a pristine, clear, clean, open mind. Come back to the mind of Christ, which is prior to judgment. And in the end, in A Course in Miracles, Jesus does say, speaking, so to speak, in first person, forgive me your illusions. I said, what does that mean? people have asked me, why would Jesus, everyone, why would Jesus say, forgive me? He's the one that it seems like he doesn't need to be saying, forgive me. He was simply saying, forgive the body of Jesus, forgive the history of Jesus, forgive the man, forgive the apostles, forgive the story, and accept yourself as the living Christ right now. That's what it's about. When we're looking for the second coming of Christ, we have to look for know thyself, because it's not going to be in a historical sense. Everyone's been waiting ever since the first resurrection scene, the first century. Is he coming back yet? Second century, third, fourth, fifth. We're not looking for the coming of a man, riding in, coming to save the world again in a personal way. We're not looking for a second coming in time. We're just looking to accept ourselves as a living Christ, and that's what he really wants. That demonstrate that I live in you, that we are the same one. So that to me is what this is all about, and it really has helped me to not think of people as people. It's a transformation of mind.
Yeah, and I have a thought that just came to my mind about love as no object. Last year, or I don't remember the time, but I think it was last year, I was in a deep assignment for several months, and at the end of the assignment it felt like just this idea that things had gone wrong, or that I could have done something differently, or that something was missing suddenly, and it was actually really beautiful, because I could see how really the plan of the Spirit is always so perfect. It's just because I was given another assignment right after that, and it felt like for one I was supporting someone, and the other I was leading a translation team for the mystical mind training program that we have online, and then I was leading a team, and I was just working with several people, and it was amazing, because the idea in the mind is, when the first assignment, something is missing, something is not the same, love is gone, because I'm not in contact with this person, and therefore love is gone. And it was really a deep undoing of specialness, actually, that the Spirit was having me gone through. And then when this other assignment was given to lead a team and do this translation of this program, I could see actually that any time that truly I was fully with the Spirit, there was never anything missing. And so I started to really transfer that, and to really play with that, and really see how it was playing out in my mind. And I would see that after that assignment was the leading of the team, I got another assignment. I was stewarding at the monastery, and then I was stewarding in another place, and then I was serving and organizing food for a whole group at the monastery, and I would just be in such a bliss and such a joy of being in service all the time, that the idea, only when there was an idea of separation, the idea would keep coming that something was missing or something had gone wrong, and this first assignment shouldn't have been done. And it was so funny, because the whole time it was the same lesson. The Spirit was bringing me deeper and deeper in the undoing of specialness, teaching me and telling me their love as no object. And anytime I would be fully aligned with Him, and I would just fully give myself over to what was given in the moment, that's exactly the experience I would have. Anytime I would believe that something had gone wrong in the past, and something was missing now, and I needed to fix it in order to feel good again, then it would seem like specialness had a grip again, and love had an object, and the object was gone, for sure. And so it was really beautiful, because I really felt that in the continuity of the guidance of the Spirit, in the continuity of the flow of the Spirit, that's where you find love. That's where love is, because that's our true nature. And why do we follow guidance? We don't follow guidance for the form to be a certain way. We follow guidance for a present joining with the Holy Spirit. And the more we join with the Spirit in asking for Him to lead our life, the more we're connecting with Him, the more we rest in His presence, to be in this state of prayer and guidance all the time. And that's how we are really devoting ourselves to be in the presence, to be in the Spirit, and to come in the experience where finally the realization is, I am the Holy Spirit, I am the guidance, I am the presence. We're not separate. It's not that I'm asking to something outside of myself. I'm asking to my true self to lead my life, and by this very action and this very practice over and over and over again, we keep aligning with the Spirit and just allowing the Spirit to really take full control of our life, so that we'll know who we are. And that's what this experience is about, is really about knowing that the love that we are is absolutely no object, and it's not depending on anything being a certain way, on any particular situation, any sacred places or sacred person, any special person or a specific partner. It's really in our heart. And once again, it's what I was telling you just before. The only thing that is lacking is what I'm not giving. And as long as we are in this state of giving, we'll know the love that we are. And as we shut ourselves off from this love, that's when the love seems to be lacking. And so it's really seeing that, we always say like this funny thing, you don't go to the restaurant with your meal, but here you go, like you go everywhere you go with the love in your heart, and you know that love is there forever and always. And so that's really what it is again coming from this place of wholeness, already knowing this wholeness that you are, and that you already have everything you need, because you are this everything, and it's impossible to be separate from anything. And then you keep extending it to everyone you meet, and that's how you know that you are that. By extending it, by teaching everything that you need to learn, you finally come to this realization that, oh, but I am that very thing that I'm sharing all the time. And it's very simple.